No, 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 they're not. They all right, but they ain't like that. You see what my guy, he just hit the man. He knocked the man out with a juke. What was it? People still don't know what he knocked him out with. People still don't know what he knocked him out with. Knocking people out. Okay, at least if they say we ain't fighting nobody, at least we knocking them out, though. We knocking them out. And we going to stop Shawn Porter, too. Somebody say, I don't like that fight. We going to stop Shawn Porter. You heard it now. We going to stop Shawn Porter. We going to stop Shawn Porter. Yes. So that let that be the talk of the town. Stop Shawn Porter. Yeah. And it didn't just come from me. And it didn't just come from me. And it didn't just come from me. Not just from me. Yeah.
We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxingego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Team Crawford says that Terence Crawford would stop Bud. Also says Errol Spence is, making excuses for not wanting the fight and more. And saying Bud just wants to fight, forget everything else, make the fight. I got some things, some comments. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chats, channel donations, Venmo donations, Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, this is a long interview or video from Bernie of Team Crawford out of Omaha, and he's saying basically people are making excuses. At the end of this video, so you can watch it straight through, I'll play what he's saying. There's just some of what he's saying I have counters to, but I'm not going to play the whole thing and watch the whole thing. So I just want to pick a few parts. You guys also watch the whole video at the end. He basically says that Crawford, his buddy Crawford, would stop Shawn Porter. And I mean, my thing, just even with that, Shawn Porter is the mandatory. I think he definitely deserves more than the public offer that Bob Arum said would be fair to Barbershop. He said $1 million. That sounds good. That would be fair. I don't think that gets it done. I talked to Kenny Porter. He said that they're definitely in shape and training, and that's the fight that they want. Team Crawford, through Bernie in this particular video, he is insisting that everyone's making excuses for Errol Spence and Shawn Porter will get stopped. My thing is this: if Shawn Porter gets stopped, like I always say on my channel, LSI, let's see it. It's two fighters. It's a good fight. We're still in a pandemic to the point where they're saying that they want Spence versus Crawford, but Spence could get the Pacquiao fight. Pacquiao's team is showing interest. So you think Spence is going to prioritize a Crawford fight? And if you say, oh, that's messed up, why is Spence going after the old Pacquiao? Crawford himself is going after the old Pacquiao. So I'm not understanding a lot of this stuff from Team Crawford, but we'll take a listen to some of it.
To fight the man. Nobody is actually calling for this man. Nobody is calling for this man. And their fans, because this is a fan's perspective, their fans are so delusional that they don't see that. So please put that in their face. I mean, the man's contract with Bob Arum don't have no business. All this propaganda about Bob don't want to pay these guys. don't know. Somebody should want to pay Bud too, right?
So right there, he says Crawford's contract with Bob doesn't have anything to do with it, and he labels it as propaganda. But the sides of the street, the promotional Cold War, that's not propaganda. That's literally a thing in the world of boxing. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's a reason why Joshua and Wilder didn't fight. There's a reason why it took several years for Mayweather and Pacquiao to fight. There's a reason why top-ranked fighters like Timothy Bradley and Manny Pacquiao, when he was with Top Rank, did not fight against guys on the other side of the street. See, if I'm lying, prove me wrong in the comment section. Timothy Bradley fought everyone that he could, and he has a great resume. But one thing he did not do is fight PBC guys. And there were some great matches for him. Amir Khan at the time, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, Adrian Broner. I remember Adrian Broner and Bradley had an exchange of words online. You know, we didn't see Errol Spence and Timothy Bradley. None of those fights. We didn't see top-ranked guys like Ruslan Provodnikov versus Maidana. We didn't see Brandon Rios versus Adrian Broner. And they used to kind of go back and forth, and they were in or around the same divisions, 135, 140 or whatnot at the time. So for Team Crawford to omit all of this and just say Crawford's contract with Bob don't have nothing to do with it, it's propaganda, I can't agree to that, because this Cold War stuff has been going on before Crawford. For some reason, Crawford and his team are apparently under the notion and under the belief that the Crawford-Spence fight started the Cold War, and that's not the case.
He not worth nothing. It's only Bob gotta pay everybody. Why Bob gotta be the one paying everybody?
And then he just said, why is Bob got to be the one to pay everybody? But Crawford said he's the A side. He said he deserves 60-40. So it's not that Bob has to pay everyone. Crawford himself said that he was the A side in the equation with Spence, and he's done more than Spence in Spence's little career. He said this to Miss Boxing Baby. So I don't understand this angle from Bernie.
I mean, I don't know how it works, but I'm just saying, damn. Man, come on, man. And if he one of the most viewed, his viewership is up. I don't know. Champ side, all the rest of them, they didn't figure it out. So he people watching us. Now, why the man losing money? I don't know. I can't figure out the logistics of that. Why he's not making money, or I don't know. Because folks has showed up interested in him. They showed up want to see what he gonna do. They tuning in like a motherfucker. Whether they'll see him lose, they watching Crawford, man. So I don't know where the money part is coming in. I don't know if it's the pandemic. I don't know if it's that new part. I don't know.
So he says people are interested in Bud's career and they're watching him and his viewership is up. So he doesn't know why Bob said that. Well, either way, this is your team. Your own team. Your promoter said this about you. This is not like me on my channel. I'm saying this about Bud. I don't even have the back end financials and vital stats of Bud's fights. So he's saying, I don't know. He's saying Crawford's views is up and everyone's checking for his fights. So he don't know why he's losing money. But Bob Arum is the one that said he's losing money. So that's Crawford's current promoter. That's something y'all would have to hash out, or Bob can explain why he's losing money. He's the one that said it. So I don't get that. I mean, Team Crawford is saying, I don't know why he's losing money, but the promoter is the one that even made this a public issue. I didn't know how much money they were making or losing until Bob Arum said. And realistically, I don't know exactly how it works with viewership on free TV or, basic ESPN versus pay-per-view and subscription. So I don't know what's considered a positive, because I know bigger stars in the UFC, which is also through ESPN, they don't fight on regular ESPN. Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko was a big fight, and that was available on ESPN Plus. I know because I have a partnership with Disney Plus that I use on my channel, and I sell ESPN Plus, and I made a lot of money on the Teofimo Lomachenko fight. We'll just leave it at that. But Crawford's fight with Kell Brook wasn't even available on ESPN Plus. You had to have regular cable. So either way, this is what Bob Arum says, and that's something that they would have to take up with Bob. But he's probably losing money because how much he has to pay Crawford, how much he has to pay the opponent. Kell Brook reportedly got $2 million. You see what I'm saying?
I don't know, but I don't see them guys doing nothing. No more marketing themselves besides being in them hot spots in the bigger city, and Bud stays at home. I don't understand. I don't see them doing nothing.
So he's saying the PBC fighters aren't marketing themselves better, but Errol Spence, his fight 16,000 people during a global pandemic where you could get sick, and potentially at worst it could be fatal. 16,000 people are chancing it, people are chancing it and going to Errol Spence's fights. And he's saying that the PBC guys aren't marketing themselves different, but the fans feel different. I mean, I'm not understanding these talking points.
Ain't nothing more special about them than Bud. So, I mean, like we keep getting distracted. They keep throwing us distractions. We just want to see the fights, right? We just want to see the fights.
So, around this part, Bernie, Team Crawford, he keeps saying that it should always be about the fights and the best versus the best. In a perfect world, I get it. That makes sense. That's what happens. But we don't live in a perfect world. The world we live in, Floyd Mayweather is fighting Logan Paul. That's a reality. It's not my opinion. That's a reality. The reason he's fighting Logan Paul is because he can, and he can make a lot of money in doing that. These are the realities. Yeah, of course, Logan Paul, he's not better than Terence Crawford. He's not better than Errol Spence. But Floyd Mayweather at age 44, or whatever age he is, he's not fighting Terence Crawford. He's not fighting Errol Spence because he's fighting somebody that he can make a lot of money with and that can help him promote. He's not fighting a Keith Thurman. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta understand what people are saying about Bud. It's the business of boxing, and it's the actual world we live in. You could get mad at it, but this is what we've been going through. There's a reason why Mayweather and Pacquiao took 5-6 years to fight. Pacquiao didn't want to listen to Mayweather do the drug test. They couldn't agree to this and that network beef. Same thing with Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis. It's the same thing. Mike Tyson at a point was after prison. He was on Showtime. Lennox Lewis was on HBO. There was hurdles that needed to be jumped before those fights happened. What Bernie just said is, we just want to see the fights. We just want to see the fights. Like, it's solely about the business. The business doesn't matter, but that's not a realistic term. I mean, that's not a realistic standpoint, I guess you could say. We just want to see the fights. The business has to make sense for it to happen too. For example, Top Rank just announced that Miguel Berchelt and Oscar Valdez is rescheduled for February, but the date it was supposed to happen was this last weekend, and Shakur Stevenson, Terence Crawford's little bro, just fought last weekend. Oscar Valdez is in the same division as Shakur Stevenson, and Shakur Stevenson has called out Oscar Valdez. That would have been a great fight, and I believe that Shakur would probably be the favorite for sure against Oscar Valdez, but it would have been a better fight, for fans, and a bigger fight for fans, a two-time Olympian in Oscar Valdez and an Olympian in Shakur, right? And instead of putting Shakur versus Toka Khan Clary on that card, the business with Top Rank, they preferred a Mexican fighter, Miguel Berchelt, to rest up and, be cleared to fight against a Mexican American so they could cater to the Hispanic demographic. So these concepts, if you put them on paper or you just think about it, slow it down and think about it, they're not really hard to understand. Shakur Stevenson could have easily been a shoe-in for Miguel Berchelt, who tested positive for the Rona. But instead of doing that and giving Shakur they feel they can make money on Oscar Valdez, Miguel Berchelt. So instead of just getting the fights we want, they put Shakur Stevenson on that date, gave him a half training camp, and he just fought some random guy that many people weren't familiar with when he could have been fighting just as a replacement for Miguel Berchelt in a much more meaningful fight against Oscar Valdez. So for Team Crawford to act oblivious to these facts that I'm outlining, you know, it doesn't make sense. And I got another example.
Champ, I called you the gang of times. Why you answer? It's your job, everybody else's job. The fighter's job to do that, not to do all the extra stuff. So he going back to 35. I have watched phenomenal. I don't think, but he ain't said much since. And then he went crazy when he said, because I don't be on Twitter, but he went nuts when he said he going back to 35. I have watched Fanon or something. They said that, and then I finally seen the tweet, and everybody went crazy. Shakur did the same thing. Boy, y'all terrible. So I guess you can't win in this. So who am I talking to? But tell them, favorite your fans, Blue Blood Sports, stop propaganding that shit. Stop even saying that shit. Call that man out. Call that man out. Why don't you grill them? Y'all don't grill nobody. They giving y'all access. They grill them. Them boys don't want to fight. They got a lot of talking. Now they trying to figure out which way they could beat them, how they would do with them. Before, they got every excuse in the well, tell them to fight. So all the excuses is out the window. Don't matter about this. Don't matter about that. You hear they putting up Spence, making all that money. They said, well, he was controversial. Shit, the man was flipped over a couple times. They want to see how he gonna do. Bud would have had the same anticipation.
I mean, this is just like hyperbole. He's saying that Bud, if he was in the same situation, everything would have been the same. But that's not what happened. Bud wasn't in that situation, and Bud didn't generate 16,000 live audience members. He didn't even have a live crowd for his last fight with Kell Brook. So that's all speculation. You see what I'm saying? And again, in closing, and then I'll let you guys watch the actual video from Bernie straight through, where he says that Bud would stop Shawn Porter. It's just a lot. There's a lot to go over, so that's why I wanted to just talk about a couple key things that he said, and you know, we'll talk about this more and more. Listen, first of all, nobody's after Crawford. Everything he said is propaganda and just make the fight. Them dudes are making excuses, but them dudes, the PBC guys, are all fighting each other, and they're fighting who the public believe. Keith Thurman just fought Pacquiao. He's a Hall of Famer. Bud wants to fight Pacquiao. Errol Spence wants to fight Pacquiao. That's an honor to fight Pacquiao. Keith Thurman just fought that man. Jose Cito has been cooking his last couple of opponents. That was off of a 2-year layoff, 3-year layoff. That was Thurman's comeback fight. Jose Cito Lopez, who got dropped and then fought better as the fight wore on and even hurt Keith Thurman. Shawn Porter is a high-class dude. I get Bernie and Team Crawford feel confident they'll stop him, but he has never been stopped. That's why the fans want to see it. Shawn Porter, look at his last 7 fights. His last 7 fights includes names like Danny Garcia, no particular order, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, Ugas, Broner. There's a reason why people aren't on Shawn Porter's back or Keith Thurman's back or Errol Spence's back. He just fought Danny off of an accident, you know? And I feel Team Crawford, they want to skip past these real life facts and say, oh, it don't matter about Bob. It don't matter who we signed to. Stop making excuses, stop ducking, just fight us. But that doesn't make sense. And in closing, I'll give you guys an example and show you absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, why it doesn't make sense. So, Terence Crawford, again, great fighter, always in shape, disciplined, you know, these different types of things. But Terence Crawford has been called out by Ray Robinson. Ray Robinson says he's the last person to beat Terence Crawford, right? And let me give you guys some ideas of this, right? ringtv.com. And you guys got to follow me where we're going with this. And give me 1 second. Okay. So Ray Robinson says, quote, "I would beat Terence Crawford. I got his number." He's claiming he's the last person to beat Terence Crawford in the amateurs, right? This was June 27th. Ray Robinson is the latest fighter to call out Terence Crawford, right? Politics knocking at the door again, blah, blah, blah. And keep in mind, I watched the fight with Mean Machine. He really beat Mean Machine. It was a draw, so somehow Mean Machine got the Crawford fight, but he really beat him. Robinson said 100% he would beat Crawford if they fought. I got his number. Look, this is his direct quote. You guys should be able to see it on the screen, right? He said this, so this is Ray Robinson. I got his number. I would beat Crawford, he continued. I know that I've beaten him once already, but I know for a fact I got his number. And it says he hasn't fought anyone like me. I feel it will be the same result. So this is one of many call outs from Ray Robinson, and I'm going to explain why what Bernie said doesn't make sense. He also has done interviews where he said, Terence Crawford, you guys should be able to see it. Hold on. Terence Crawford only wants easy fights. So he's been trash talking and calling out Terence Crawford. Right? So using Team Crawford's logic, oh wait, there's more. Fight Hype got an interview. It says Crawford shut up or glove up. Ray Robinson rips Terence Crawford and dares the quote puppet to avenge his loss. This is August, right? Just listen. Just listen to this. It says, we saw a video of him. The reporter says, we saw a video of him being Crawford, saying why he shouldn't fight you. Ray Robinson said he wasted a lot of time just telling people why he shouldn't fight me. That's all he did. The question was, do you feel like he's ducking you? He said, honestly, I feel him and his team is. All right. I will put the link in the description so you guys can watch it yourself. But again, using Bernie's logic of who cares? It don't matter. Just make the fight. Just make it make sense. Terence Crawford didn't fight Ray Robinson, who is on his back, is trash talking, has a win, has definitely played spoiler to some guys. I thought he beat Josh Kelly and I thought he beat Mean Machine, right? So based on that, that seems like a fight, you know, not worse than Amir Khan. I would rather see the Ray Robinson fight. But if the network like ESPN felt like we can't really sell that fight, or Bob Arum didn't want to pay him, or if his team didn't want it, whatever the case is, right? The fight didn't happen. You get what I'm saying? The fight didn't happen. So we can't just act oblivious to the actual business side of boxing, because if that's the case, Ray Robinson's been sweating you and calling for the fight, saying you ain't fighting nobody, and you fought Mean Machine and Benavidez and guys that have never ever beat you. But the guy that keeps saying he beat you in the amateurs and is continuing to call you out and stuff like that, why didn't they offer him $2 million? Do you think Ray Robinson, he's been stopped by Ugas, a PBC guy, but he's a solid fighter. Again, he's played spoiler, and he keeps saying I have the recipe to beat him. So my thing is this. Look, Ray Robinson won't let up, continues to call out Terence Crawford, right? So he's been doing this for a minute, and Mean Machine got the fight. So how can Team Crawford say, oh, you just making up excuses, them guys don't want to fight, just making up excuses? Shawn Porter just called you out on the See, it's looking crazy for Team Crawford. I've seen Team Crawford members complain when they're not represented on PBC screen, like showing the welterweight picture. They're like, hey, why didn't they mention Bud? Then on the Errol Spence, Danny Garcia welterweight card, Terence Crawford was called out by Shawn Porter. And then days later, Bob Arum says that it's a great fight, but it's not a big fight with the Athletic. And also put out an offer that most people believe is a low ball, seeing how Kell Brook made more money than what Bob Arum deemed as fair. So how can Team Crawford and Bernie say, it don't matter who we signed to, it don't matter Bob, it don't matter politics, it don't matter size of the street, stop making excuses. But again, Ray Robinson, he's probably somebody who's a free agent or easier to fight, but that fight hasn't happened yet for whatever reason. So how is it that the business hasn't fulfilled Ray Robinson's call outs and nobody's talking about making excuses or anything? And truth be told, Ray Robinson, based on what he's saying, based on these interviews that he's doing and the confidence that he has from allegedly beating, well, not allegedly, he has a win over Crawford in the amateurs. And he keeps saying, I got this guy's number. Crawford don't want to fight nobody. Boom, boom, boom. I definitely think he'll put up a better fight than Kell Brook. First sign of danger, and he shelled up, and it was the end of the road for him. So again, we have to understand how boxing works. Like, it doesn't just happen on your time. Errol Spence is the A side, and the funny thing is this: Bernie is saying that somebody's making excuses or Errol's making excuses, but Crawford was the one that took the fight off the table. He said, oh, if it ain't 60-40 my way, then I guess we ain't never fighting. Errol Spence never said, if this, and this happened, then I guess we'll never fight. Crawford said that. So I feel like Crawford's team, what's being said and put out there and represented is, is looking kind of questionable at this moment. Errol Spence, he said, I deserve the lion's share. I'm the A side, the proof's in the pudding. And it sounds like Bernie agreed to it, because Bernie just said, oh yeah, it's because he got in a car wreck, so that's why people tuned in. If we went through that, then people would be tuned into Bud, but that's not your circumstance. That's not what happened in Bud's, career. So how are the people, ducking and making excuses and this type of stuff when Porter just called you out, Keith Thurman called you out, and then again for Bernie to say, who cares, stop bringing up Bob, just make the fight. But that could be part of why the fight's not happening. Keith Thurman called you out. They said 10 million, that's too much money, get out of here. That's it. No negotiation, no back and forth. It's just, you want too much money, get out of my office, hang up the phone or whatever. So how could we just excuse, and these fights aren't happening per the business and per some of the business with Bob, but Bernie's like, man, who cares? F all that. Just make the fight. These guys are scared. It's just, there's a lot more detail that has to be paid and attention that has to be paid into this situation, rather than these guys are just all ducking me. How you ducking? How can you say you're being ducked? And I just told you two fighters, Keith Thurman and Shawn Porter, that have recently called Bud out. It's just, none of this stuff is making sense. But I'll talk about this more. Let me know what you guys think. Right now, I'm going to air the whole uncut Bernie so you guys can hear what he had to say for himself. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. We'll see how it all plays out. But I think Crawford's team, they want my way or the highway. But it doesn't always work like that, in terms of the business. It just simply put doesn't, especially when you're not in a position of power. It seems they feel they have more leverage and power than they truly do. And that's what the roadblock is. And it's easy to just say, F that, just make the fight. But that's not how the game works. Amir Khan, he called out Floyd Mayweather, but Maidana was the one that got 2 fights with Floyd. And Khan beat Maidana, It doesn't just work like that. Floyd's the A side. He could do whatever he want. There's a lot of guys that called out Pacquiao and never got a fight. You know what I mean? So you can't just disregard the branding and the business and what makes sense. Why would Errol Spence, if Pacquiao is showing interest per Yahoo Sports, his own team is putting that out there, why would he not take that? He'll make more money with Pacquiao at AT&T Stadium than he would with Crawford. See, old media, they keep pushing this agenda that Crawford and Spence must happen now, and boxing should be frowned upon if it doesn't. But realistically, Errol Spence could fight Pacquiao or Thurman and make great money and do great crowds. He could even fight Shawn Porter again and make great money and make great crowds. Crawford fight, that's good too, but Crawford is in no man's land. He's Tom Hanks in Castaway. You're the only one. Shawn Porter went over this, in a recent interview he did. You're the only one over there. Why would they have to beat to the sound of your drum, and you're literally the one who's in no man's land per choice? You had an extension that you re-signed. Crawford literally re-signed an extension with Top Rank. So how could we fault the PBC guys because they all happen to be there? And again, I feel if Top Rank had all the soldiers, they would be making in-house fights like they did for years. Mike Alvarado, Brandon Rios, Manny Pacquiao, Timothy Bradley did not fight any PBC guys. I remember Broner. Broner has been calling out people. Adrian Broner, he's been popular. He was consistently calling out Juan Manuel Marquez. The fight never happened. That would have been a great fight. Broner versus Marquez. It would have did numbers. But again, it didn't make sense for Top Rank to release Marquez, but they made Bradley versus Marquez. You see what I'm saying? Timothy Bradley, whole career, he didn't fight Errol, Keith, Amir. He didn't fight none of those guys. So it's no different. This is simply put, history repeating itself. Check out the video from Team Crawford. They said they'll stop Shawn Porter. Let's see it. Peace.
Oh, it's starting to snow. It's starting to snow. It's starting to snow. Christmas time is here. So listen, before I forget what I want to talk about. I was just watching Blue Blood Sports, which I ain't gonna fuss at him. But listen, Keith Thurman just come out and said, telling Bud stop lying, or they had the clickbait thing over there, stop lying about the 10 million, and I don't know, every other excuse you could think about. Every other thing is just one thing after another. One thing after another. All this politics about what Bob said, what Bob didn't say. All this stuff that's going on. But somebody out there who's more savvy than me, who understands the internet and has the time to do that, please just make a video of all the excuses that all those guys have to not fight Bud. Y'all got all them clips where they're just saying this, they're just saying that, and everyone got something to say. Everybody got a different reason why not to fight the man. Nobody is actually calling for this man. Nobody is calling for this man, and their fans, because this is a fan's perspective, their fans are so delusional that they don't see that. So please put that in their face. I mean, the man's contract with Bob Arum don't have no business. All this propaganda about Bob don't want to pay these guys. I don't know. Somebody should want to pay Bud too, right? I mean, he not worth nothing. It's only Bob gotta pay everybody. Why Bob gotta be the one paying everybody? I mean, I don't know how it works, but I'm just saying, damn, man, come on, man. And if he one of the most viewed, his viewerships is up. I don't know. Champ side, all the rest of them, they didn't figure it out. So he people watching him. Now, why the man losing money? I don't know. I can't figure all the logistics of that. Why he's not making money, or I don't know. Because folks is showing up interested in him. They showing up want to see what he gonna do. They tuning in like a motherfucker. Whether they see him lose, they watching Crawford, man. So I don't know where the money part is coming in. I don't know if it's the pandemic. I don't know if it's that new part. I don't know. But I don't see them guys doing nothing. No more marketing themselves besides being in them hot spots in the bigger city, and Bud stays at home. I don't understand. I don't see them doing nothing. Ain't nothing more special about them than Bud. So, I mean, like the we keep getting distracted. They keep throwing us distractions. We just want to see the fights, right? We just want to see the fights. Oh.
And I'm still working. I can't do everything.
I know, baby. I didn't know that was. I forgot that was in there. What? It's cold outside. So, Champ, I called you the gang of times. Why you answer? Go get your shoes and your coat on. Damn. What's happening? So listen, no. But for real, I'm just saying everything. All they throwing all these distractions out. They don't, and Keith Thurman, why you didn't come out and say that? Or at least, or why don't y'all work harder to get the fights? Because you know Bud want the fight. You know Bud want to fight you. He want to fight you. It's his job that's your job too, Keith, to train and fight. It's your job, everybody else's job the fighter's job to do that, not to do all the extra stuff. So do more. Tell your people to do more. Tell your people to do more. You know we want to fight. It's a fact. You know the man want to fight. But do y'all really want to fight? Somebody please put a clip up of all their excuses. Every excuse that they have made. Make a highlight clip of them. For all they fans that's talking all this stuff, that everybody got something to say. And the thing he said, of course, was his clickbait thing was stop lying. He said something about Crawford. Man, get out of here. They don't want to make no fight. Them guys don't want no fight. Keith Thurman, they was forgot about him, so he just brought Bud up now. He just brought the situation up from when he didn't take the fight. I don't think Bud he ain't said much since. And then he went crazy when he said because I don't be on Twitter, but he went nuts when he said he going back to 35. I have watched Fanon or something. They said that, and then I finally seen the tweet, and everybody went crazy. Shakur did the same thing. Boy, y'all terrible. So I guess you can't win in this. So who am I talking to? But tell them, your fans, Blue Blood Sports, stop propaganding that shit. Stop even saying that shit. Call that man out. Why don't you grill them? Y'all don't grill nobody. They giving y'all access. Grill them. Them boys don't want to fight. They got a lot of talking. Now they trying to figure out which way they could beat them, how they would do with them. Before, they got every excuse in the Well, tell them to fight. So all the excuses is out the window. Don't matter about this. Don't matter about that. You hear they putting up Spence, making all that money, they said. Well, he was controversy. Shit, the man was flipped over a couple of times. They want to see how he gonna do. Bud would have had the same anticipation. Had something happen like that with Bud, he had the same anticipation. How he gonna come back? And then this is what I was talking to my partner, so listen, which I ain't trying to discredit nobody, but let me make facts. He was just saying how Spence ain't fought no real welterweights. Them all little guys moving up. Danny, Mikey, besides Shawn Porter. Who else the fella he beat? Danny, Mikey, Chris Algieri. Chris Algieri was a 40-pounder and a light-hitting 40-pounder at that. So, I mean, you know, he looking all right. He cool. But they ain't eager to get in the ring with the guy, man. It's all smoke and mirrors, man. You know, we want it all. Yeah. You see, he said cows and chickens and this and that. Come on, man. They ain't doing this for the fans. They doing this. I don't know why they doing it. Shit. Yeah. Everybody, you see the comments? I be reading the comments. I'm like, wow. The comments is astonishing. The comments.
Daddy,
I'm like, wow, bro. Y'all will say anything, you know? You can say anything. Y'all just, man. But hey, it's about to get cold. It's getting cold. Them snows is starting to come. Yikes. Man. Gotta go to the gym. Ooh, it's getting icy. I better be careful. But listen. Put the pressure on them guys to make the fight. Stop worrying about all the nonsense that don't matter. His relationship with Bob Arum, what he should do, why he did this, why he did that. That stuff don't matter. Put him in the ring. Put him in the ring. Put him in the ring. Tell him, I don't care. If he ain't nothing, then whoop him. If he ain't this, then whoop him. If he ain't that, then get rid of him. Hey. I'm gone, man. I'm gonna get back in. It's getting pretty cold out here. And I'm going on IGTV. Yes, I am. I'm gonna put this one out there. What? I know. In-house fights. Come on. You can't go nowhere without Bud. I ain't going on no car ride. We going to the gym. You can't. You nobody. Everybody tired of that. Come on, man. You gotta go see Bud, man. You ain't do it. That's the most exciting thing. Is you do it. If you step over and fight Bud. That's the most exciting. That's exciting. We know that weak ass shit can happen over there. And is them guys really that good? No, they're not. They all right, but they ain't like that. You see what my guy? He just hit the man. He knocked the man out with a juke. What was it? People still don't know what he knocked him out with. People still don't know what he knocked him out with. Knocking people out. Okay, at least if they say we ain't fighting nobody, at least we knocking them out, though. We knocking them out. And we going to stop Shawn Porter, too. Somebody say, I don't like that fight. We going to stop Shawn Porter. You heard it now. We going to stop Shawn Porter. We going to stop Shawn Porter. Yes. So that let that be the talk of the town. Stop Shawn Porter. Yeah. And it didn't just come from me. And it didn't just come from me. And it didn't just come from me. Not just from me. Yeah. Yeah. Stop Shawn Porter. Then what y'all gonna say? Saul! Man, we on our way, man. I can't wait to get to work, man. I can't wait to get to work. We in there holding it down in the gym, though. I've been in there. I've been working. I've been doing a little bit of everything. Yes. Yes. He need to see Porter. We gonna stop him, punk. We gonna stop him. We gonna stop Shawn Porter. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we gonna stop him. Yeah, we gonna stop. If all they want to pay, and then whatever propaganda it is, tell Shawn to step it up. Don't let him fight. I'll fight that motherfucker for nothing. If he really want it, fight him for nothing. Whatever they gonna offer him, fight him. Because you want the championship, right? You want the glory, right? So it ain't all about the money. You gotta be careful, honey. Let's go. Let's go. Tell him to step it up. Force that mandatory. Take that old $1 million. Whatever he want. Whatever they was going to give him. Whatever they said.
Don't want to.
Tell him to call Bud. Tell him to make the fight, boy. Tell him to do that. Tell him to say, yeah, Bud, I just want to fight you. He ain't got enough guts to do that, though. But Shawn Porter, all right, he going to get stopped. That's going to be the end of Shawn Porter. We going to stop him. And I'm gone. Saul, I see y'all, man. Love you guys. Hey, peace and blessings. Happy holidays. Yeah.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.